Correct needle depth is one of the holy grails of tattoo knowledge. Getting this wrong can be the difference between a great tattoo and a huge fail. In this video, I'm not only going to be showing you an actual close-up on human skin, we're also going to be exploring the different depths on different body parts for lining and shading. Hey everyone, welcome to this video. If you've ever struggled to find that definitive answer to what the actual correct needle depth is to tattoo at, then you've probably been hit with a wave of confusion, contradictions, with some artists telling you one thing and then another artist telling you something completely different. Well, I think I know why this happens, and today I'm going to be sharing this information with you. It's most likely because when needle depth is spoken about, it's usually the average depth to place ink in the skin at an easier body part. The easier body parts to cover this subject will be like the arm or the thigh, but the truth is when it comes to needle depth, there is not one size fits all. So today I'm going to be covering the standard easier areas on the body and also the more awkward ones like hands and fingers. Now, I have covered the needle depth subject in the past, which I uploaded a video a few years ago, which covers the average needle depth, and it also covers what blowouts are and how they occur. So if you haven't seen that video already, I strongly recommend you watch that first and then come back to this one. If you want to watch that video first, you can click on the card I'm putting on the screen right now, or you can find the link in this video's description box. So with all that said, guys, let's not waste any more time and get straight into it. Super quick recap first of all, guys, as to where and why the ink needs to be placed. The skin is made up of three main layers. We've got the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis, also known as the subcutaneous layer. Now, the epidermis, that's the layer that provides the waterproof barrier to our skin. It's also the layer that's responsible for shedding skin cells and renewing itself. We've got the dermis, which is the more stable layer of skin cells. Also located here is the hair follicles and sweat glands. And then below that, we've got the hypodermis, and this is essentially a layer of fat. So now let's get to the live demonstration on real human skin. Just going to quickly spray this arm down with a bit of alcohol, sterilize it. So for this first live demonstration, it's going to be on the forearm with a 7-round liner. So the depth that we're aiming for is about 2mm on the arm. You can see it going in there, and this is for lining. Again, you can see the mark it's made there. Obviously it's not going to make a big hole with blood coming out of it because I'm not using a machine that's packing really hard into the skin. Next we have the hand. Again, the 7-round liner. I always get the client to make a fist because it makes that loose skin tighten, and it's just like using an extra stretch, but with the skin getting tighter, you don't have to go as deep. So for hands, I'd recommend around about 1.7mm to 2mm. You can see the indentation it's made there with the needle, but this depth should be more than enough to get that ink in the hand. Now we're moving on to the fingers. Again, 7-round liner, and I'm just demonstrating here, when you actually straighten the finger, the depth would probably still be about 2mm, but when you do tattoo fingers and you bend them like the hand, and the skin stretches to make it easier to tattoo, then that depth can quickly become a lot shallower, which is why fingers are more prone to blowouts, because if you go in at 2mm with a finger, when it's stretched like this, you'll almost certainly blow it out. So it's worth noting that if you do finger tattoos and you bend the finger like this to get a stretch, then you really don't need to go in at 2mm and go in slightly shallower, otherwise you most certainly will blow out the tattoo, especially if you're doing script or something like that and it's going to be really noticeable and probably make quite a mess of the client's finger. So now we're moving on to curved mag, which is a shader. Now with shading, you don't want to be going in at the depth that you're going in with lining. It's a lot shallower. So for shading, you'll be looking at around about 1.5mm. You're just basically lightly brushing over the skin like you would be with a paintbrush. I mean, it's a little hard to demonstrate here because I'm not actually using a machine, so I can't do paintbrush strokes because the needle would just be getting stuck in the skin. But I'm trying to show you how deep I'm going into the skin there, and you can see it's a lot less than the lining. This is for the curved mag for shading. get the client to make a fist, help you out with a stretch, and you can see you're going in there 1.5 mil, and that's the depth that you're looking to hit. If you hit that depth like that with shading on the hand, you shouldn't have any problems at all. If you are getting problems, it's not dark enough, just make your grey wash darker. So for hands, I'd recommend around about 1.7 millimeters to 2 millimeters. You can see the indentation it's made there with the needle. Also with hands, they do tend to heal patchy, and this is usually what I find, not always the tattooist's fault, but it's the client's. And it doesn't matter what you tell them how to look after it with aftercare, they tend to not follow the rules, and then weeks later they turn up and wonder why the hands have got all patchy. It's not always the client's fault, but a lot of the time I find it is. So in this next section, we're going to look at 2 tattoos which I did, which are now fully healed. One was 12 months ago and one was about 5 years ago. And the reason I'm going to show you these is because all what you've just learned with the needle depth, the ink was placed in at all these depths. I know when it comes to needle depth, you get a lot of people saying 2 millimeters is too shallow. I like to back up with proof everything I do, and just to show you a snapshot of applying everything that I've showed you in the video to these tattoos, which are now fully healed. So here's the first one. This was a chest cover about 12 months ago, and you can see how it's healed there. I'm more concentrating on the lining on this one. You can see how nice that lining's healed, and that's hitting a depth of around about 2 millimeters. This next one is a Frankenstein portrait I did. This is 5 years old. I've took this picture recently just so you can see it and it's nice and fresh, instead of just showing you the picture when it was first done, which is not going to help anyone. So you can see those shades have really healed well, and it's stood the test of time over 5 years. And that was shading at a depth of around about 1.5 millimeters. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and if you just give me 20 seconds, I'm going to give a quick shout out for the awesome super thanks subscribers, which were kind enough to leave a super thanks in the previous videos. Welcome to the super thanks section of the channel, and this is basically a new feature rolled out by YouTube, and it's kind of like tipping your waiter or your waitress when a video's really resonated with you and helped you out. You can go into the like section and leave a super thanks. Now, it goes without saying, guys, I'm super appreciated to anyone that leaves a super thanks, and to show my appreciation back to you guys as subscribers, for everyone that does leave a super thanks on the previous videos, the next video upload, just like this section now, I give you all a personal shout out, on-screen mention, just to say thank you all, you're so awesome, and I really, really appreciate it. It doesn't matter which video that you leave the super thanks on, because I always get the notification and your name will definitely be mentioned on the following upload. Thank you once again for watching this video, guys, and it really does mean the world to me if you've taken anything from this video at all. Take a second out right now, smash that like button, let me know that you've liked it. Feel free to drop your comments in the box below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed, it's really important, check that notification bell. With all that said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.